Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Last night, we caught up with Istinian a little bit, and yeah, so from here, let's see where we go.
And
Oh,
so,
I haven't noticed.
All right, we are live.
okay.
You can continue your discussion about gloves. That's fine.
We're talking about
And
fingernails.
fingers and fingernails.
Oh, I was trying to zoom in.
You'll have to look at another time. I didn't think you did, but I saw that you have pink fingernails on.
Yeah, I got. Where did I get those from? I think I got those from.
They're from the snake people.
the snake people. Yes.
The pointed nails, the claws,
golden
are from
saucer. Yeah.
the golden saucer. Yeah.
It just wouldn't be proper for the cat girl not to have claws.
I know, right?
I know, but I got groomed, and so I had them taken.
Ah. You must be shattered after all that hopping back and forth between worlds. Why not stay here and rest for a while? I'm sure Beck Lug can manage without you. They've got enough scions to help them, if you ask me.
I could hear a sarcasm in that, couldn't you?
Uh-huh. Meanwhile, in Garlemald.
Dun dun dun.
Traitors! You will not dare deny Lord Nerva the throne. Are we about to get an Emperor Gaius?
Oh, I don't know.
Onward! Before this day is done, victory shall be ours. Boring, boring, boring. Do you think... I find it amusing, like dogs herding cattle to the slaughterhouse. That hue, your soul is... Who are you? Before your majesty, I am but another dog. Lost. I want of a new master. A hunting dog, if you should wish it so. For I know full well the prey you would seek next. Zodiark.
Is that the guy we already killed once?
I don't know. I do not believe that it is Yatsuyu's brother, if that's what you're thinking.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
I'm pretty sure that guy is dead and not coming back.
Okay.
Did you hear? The mayor's reopening Daedalus Stoneworks, and they're looking for laborers. There's talk of resettling some of the old abandoned villages, too. They're even laying on free Talos to help anyone willing to make the move. Free Talos? Huh, we'd best get packing. Steady work, board and lodging. If that's not a recipe for hope, I don't know what it is. Hope. Yes, so long as I yet live, I would see that feeble flame rekindled. What has happened here?
Mm-hmm.
It is my destiny to see our dream fulfilled. I'd actually kind of thought that we had absorbed him and he was gone.
That's what I thought. Like he came back to us or whatever they were saying.
Yeah. And of course, maybe he did. Maybe we're dealing with something else here.
Yeah.
And for the record, we have just finished patch 5.1, and we are now on patch 5.2. My, what a pleasant surprise. If you've come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Matoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal ether. You mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. If only we could go with you to the first and help. Pardon my interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Hello, Maxima. Ah, it has been far too long, my friend. Forgive me, I do not believe we have been formally introduced. Maxima, former Garlean ambassador, I remain here in Eorzea under the auspices of Commander Aldin, offering what counsel I can in the hopes of resolving the present conflict with the Empire. Ah yes, I have heard stories of a defector from Garlemald. But never mind you that. You said you have urgent news. Indeed. As you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Garlean forces have been recalled from the Gimlet Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance is withdrawn, leaving the Alamegan resistance to keep watch over the border. And as there, we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor, who claims that this de-escalation may belie growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Commander Aldin has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He has also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend the invitation. It would seem time is of the essence. Well, you'll not be attending this meeting alone. Though I am not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades, I see no reason to burden a single Scion with all this. Yes, of course. Then we must make for the Alamegan quarter with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two.
Where was that quarter at? Where's it?
Near the Dolmen Enclave somewhere.
Are we all out?
Yeah, just scroll up from the Dolmen Enclave. It's the bottom of the section above that.
That would suck if she gets pulled out of the queue and doesn't even get credit for it.
Indeed. Although she appears to be running healer, so she probably didn't have a long queue.
Oh, I didn't see she was working a white mage.
All right, before we go in, who is this unexpected guest?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I doubt it's going to be Gaius, but it could be Gaius. Evening.
We haven't
Welcome to
seen
the
Nero in a
stream.
while.
Say who?
Nero?
Nero.
Oh yeah, that's true. It could be him. Alright, let's see what we got. Commander Alden awaits us in the Royal Palace. If you would follow me. Looks like it's probably Gaius. Yeah.
I was gonna say the sleeve didn't look nearly posh enough for Nero.
True.
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark. Not that I understand half of it. When the Scions spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury. I trust you two require no introduction.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea. Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows, and brought more than 2 companions. We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence. Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation I found that I was right. The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals? With which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed. Few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandarnus, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery. What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea. We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
and right glad are we that you did. Though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope. Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you and you alone have faced the Ultima weapon, and emerged victorious. We need you. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days. But it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all. Even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first. I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of a new ultimate weapon, but with each passing day, the plight of the Scions grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the ultimate weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask that you confer with me before returning to the first.
Sorry, when you started that quest, did you notice we all turned around and faced away from her, and then we turned back around?
Yes, I did.
That was weird.
Yeah. Ah, just one moment. Yeah, this is a trial series that we just unlocked. That's why this guy over here has an unlocked quest. Fighting the newly made Ultima weapons, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I take it you're ready to return to the first. Then I would ask that you apprise the others of recent events here in the source. Namely, Xenos' return and the development of a new Ultima weapon. As for their bodies, you may assure them Master Matoya and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal ethers stable. Safe travels. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon. Alright, back to the Crystarium. You've come at a most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul and the means to return the Scions home. I trust you too have been making good use of your time. Ill tidings from the source, you say. Then I will summon the others, and we might be apprised of the situation.
Now that we are all here, what news from the source?
A new Ultima weapon. We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion. Thanks in large part to Urianger and Beclug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white aurosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And, after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both, that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will. However...
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allagan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within aurosite or any other crystal.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allagan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
My apologies.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness. But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
I'm not sure where you guys are, but I'm just going to pick up with Alpha Node here. I must confess, while I enjoy my fair share of scholarly research, it will be good to step outside for a fresh spot of air, or a spot of fresh air. Now then, shall we go and speak with Lena?
Girl, I don't know. What if it's girl problems?
What was that?
Then why on earth would she want to speak to me?
Well, that's true. I forget that sometimes.
I know, me too. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
It's your luxurious hair, Kath.
Okay, I'll buy that.
And KJ, it's because you're a Lalafell.
My ponytail.
Everybody likes potatoes.
That's right.
We have little time, so I will be brief. A Sin Eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I ask for your assistance in slaying it. A Sin Eater? I had heard some few yet remained after the night had returned, but perhaps we should call the others? That will not be necessary. It is only a single Sin Eater. A simple task for your guard, I would think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But you do not underestimate your foes, however harmless they may seem. My men would do well to learn from your example. I went with option 1. Excellent. Then let us make for Fort Job.
Hold on, I chose number 2. Alpha Node jumps and says, "You can't be serious."
I believe that.
And then it goes right into the what you just said.
Right. Alright. Fort Job whenever you're ready, KJ.
We are there.
If you would wait here a moment, I will gather the others. Kind of wish I had remembered to switch into my Crystarium glamour before coming here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You may not remember, but you have met these soldiers once before, though only in passing. Long have they waited the opportunity to fight at your side. I was at death's door that day after the Sin Eaters attacked. If you and yours hadn't come along, I'd have likely stepped through, and I wouldn't have been alone. Your courage and selflessness is something we all aspire to. I too was there that terrible day. My friend was transformed into a Sin Eater before my very eyes, and I had no choice but to cut her down. The thought of returning to the field, of holding a blade again, it filled me with dread. But that is no way to honor her or my comrades, and so I have returned. I swear I will not let you or anyone else down from this day forward. A pleasure to meet you, sir. Truly, it seems like only yesterday I watched as you took flight astride the Anamaro to go and save the Oracle. Strange to think the Yulmoran soldiers we once locked blades with are now on our side, but we will do our utmost to keep the peace here in Lakeland. We seem to be missing one. My apologies, Captain Lena. An elderly gentleman asked that I escort him to Clearmelt. It took longer than I anticipated. I'll not begrudge your desire to help those in need, but a soldier must be punctual, especially when we play host to an honored guest. It won't happen again. The name's Thaler. I'm sure you don't remember, but we met once before in the infirmary. I ask you to deliver a message to the Exarch and the Warrior of Darkness. Little did I know I was already talking to him. Don't give up. Don't give in. I keep those words close to my heart, and the boundless, beautiful skies above serve as a reminder of their importance. My friend got to see the knight's return, shortly before he passed. He left this world with a smile, satisfied with a glimpse of what was to come. But there are countless others who weren't so fortunate. They gave their lives for the promise of a future they'll never know, and so it falls to us to do everything we can to fulfill that promise. No matter what happens, we won't give up. We won't give in. Your heroism has inspired all of our guardsmen in much the same manner. Our scouts at the northern staging point have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. Let us not keep them waiting.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Indeed.
And exploded.
Also, was it just me, or did Thyler look an awful lot like Ardbert?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Not just like him, but an awful lot like him.
He's a younger brother because he doesn't have the facial hair. Doesn't Albert have the facial hair?
Yeah, a little bit more, I think.
So it's a younger
But
brother.
yes, he does look like he might be a relative. Like maybe a great-great-grand uncle. I'm sorry, nephew.
Nephew.
Yeah. Could be possible.
Although it's also a case of maybe that's the only time, like, only so many customizations in character creation.
True, true.
Did you slay this eater? Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
By himself. Certainly it is no light warden, but nevertheless.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe, he did. I've never seen anything like it. So I says to him, "Who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness?" And he says, "No, I'm a warrior of light." And that was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
A warrior of light? Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood. I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be him, the warrior of darkness.
Eh? Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is done. Return to your posts.
I had hoped to fight at your side today. But I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
I apologize for the wasted journey. It seems I overestimated the threat. As for this Warrior of Light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the Flood. The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world. Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystarium? There is a proposal I should like to make.
Forgive me. There is one more thing. A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
Oh, now Alpha Node is willing to let the girl have what she wants.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I have a theory. When Ardbert and the Warriors of Light, or Warriors of Darkness, left this world to come to ours, they had to die. As they had to leave their bodies and come as souls, much the way that Alpha Node and the others are here. That means their bodies were left here. And who likes to steal bodies?
Oh, yeah.
Apparently more than just the Asians, though.
Well, true.
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch. Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating. Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true. It is for this reason that I seek your advice. Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was. He seems a different man. A younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy. It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there. Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past, remind him of all the pain that came before.
I'm going with option 1.
Is that so? Then perhaps we might remain as we were. As we have always been. What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work. This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
I knew it. It was girl problems.
Did you say girl problem?
Yep, it's girl problems.
Yeah, I went with number 2. It is girl problem. Are you kidding? He's lost without you. He is?
Also, the voice of the guy that's the nephew of the Warrior of Light, Darkness, or whatever, his voice does not fit what I imagined at all. I don't know why. It's like lower than I thought it would be. Something. I don't know.
It'd be a younger voice when it's not.
Yeah.
I will not keep you. You and your comrades have much to discuss. I will see the others back to their posts.
They're like long gone already. Come on.
She's embarrassed. She like opened up like with her heart, so she's embarrassed now. She's like, yeah, I need to go. I need to go take care of my troops.
Doesn't she think of the Exarch as like a father figure, right? Because he helped raise her.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think
If he's
that's
acting
what
young, she's like, he's hot.
Oh
stuff
my
now.
gosh.
Well, she's seen a glint in his eye that she hasn't seen for years.
But now she's uncomfortable though, because she's like, we need to go back to the way it was.
Well, that's what she was asking. We can do that? Is that okay? She's crushing on her grandpa.
No, she's not. Don't be weird.
She's the weird one.
You're making them all uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What?
The others were quite shocked to hear what we'd found in Lakeland. But now that you're here, there's a proposal I should like to make. I think the bunny girl's taken, Alpha Node, so don't try.
Right?
I've been spending a great deal of time in the Cabinet of Curiosity, and of late I have noted more and more people perusing books on history, the years leading up to the Flood in particular. I suspect they wish to know more about the Warriors of Light, as well as they should, but nearly everything I've come across describes them as sin-eaters or worse. Regardless of whether or not this Warrior of Light is who they claim to be, I worry that their sudden appearance in conjunction with this renewed interest in their predecessors may lead to a growing unrest and fear. If the people of the Crystarium seek the truth, I say we give it to them. I too can attest to the falsehoods found within many of the Cabinet's tomes, with nary a mention of the noble deeds of Arbert and his comrades. To be fair, they bear some responsibility for the Flood, but when the tale is told again and again over the course of a century, I am not surprised to see their roles distorted and then painted as villains. Were it not for the records stored within the Crystal Tower, I would have had no reason to question the narrative. Unfortunately, that knowledge was of no use, for when I arrived here in the first, their reputation had already been irreparably tarnished. That said, there still remain those who worked tirelessly to defend their good name in those early days following the Flood. Considering all the good they had done, I find it a wonder they needed defending at all. They brought to justice the man who misused my knowledge to bring about the fall of Verbert. That such heroes could be spoken of in the same breath as sin-eaters is absurd. Under normal circumstances, I would agree, But as time passed, those who knew firsthand of their deeds dwindled. In the end, only one truth remained, that they were the cause of the flood. With the world on the brink of oblivion, it was all too easy for the Warriors of Light to become villains deserving only of resentment and hate. At that point, the truth mattered little. It would not change their lot. Thanks to all of you, however, their lot has changed, and now they may heed the long-forgotten truth. You claimed it was Ardbert who helped you overcome Emmett Selk, correct? Such a revelation would do well to sway the hearts of those who know him only as a villain. I have shared this with a select few, but one and all must be told of this sacrifice. To that end, I say we proceed with Alphinode's plan. We call together the people of the Crystarium and recount to them the true tale of the Warriors of Light, and the flood that followed in their wake.
Ooh, story time. Hot chocolate?
Well, what say you? I went with option 1. Then we're all of one mind on the matter. Good. Exarch, might I ask you to continue working with Beck Luke on our means to returning home? The rest of us will see to gather the people of the Crystarium in the Exedra. We have to reach out to anyone and everyone who might be willing to lend an ear. With any luck, word will spread and more will accompany them. Alphanode, you're not going to try to make me do a play, are you? That seems like something he would do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As long as they got popcorn.
My, what a wonderful surprise. Though I hope you being here doesn't mean someone's been hurt. Thanks to you, I've had far fewer patients coming through my door of late, which is a shame, come to think of it. I've had few opportunities to test my new medicines. I jest, of course. It's actually been quite pleasant to have a few moments to myself now and again. The truth about the Warriors of Light, but the Exarch has already spoken with me about them. Well, if there's more to the tale, I'd very much like to hear it.
Where to?
Maybe the Amaro launch? That might be the way to get to this one.
It's the other one. Well, if you jump over. You going catlets?
Yeah. Ah, I thought the crystalline mean teleport took you down to the library. Well, what a coincidence. I was just reading over a letter I received from Grinnell not long ago. He says a visitor from the Crystarium found him at the bottom of the ocean and that he inspired him to reach new artistic heights. Well, I could only think of one person capable of both feats, though I'd say the latter is far more impressive. To think, fate could bring the two of you together in such a place. I'm sorry. You mean the Exarch didn't tell us the whole story of the Warriors of Light? Well, whatever he's left unsaid, I'm all ears. Can't jump over that one, sadly. No, this can't be. Surely there is at least one book here that does not cast the Warriors of Light and their deeds in such a negative light. Yes, I am a walking book, Morin, and I will do just that. Oh, forgive me. The Cabinet of Curiosity has been bustling with visitors of late, but I fear our repository lacks for the knowledge they seek. The people wish to know the truth of the Flood, of the Warriors of Light. I have searched high and low, but alas, every account portrays them as no better than sin-eaters, abominations worthy only of scorn and resentment. I know that we're not always judged so harshly, yet I can find no proof, and I dare call myself a librarian. You would address the people and tell them the truth of the Warriors of Light, of the Flood? How wonderful! You have regaled me with the tale once before, but I should love to hear it again. Oh, and you may be assured I will not come alone. Come to browse wares in the market, have you? Well, I can guarantee you'll have no trouble finding what you need. Whatever it may be, under Yulmore's new leadership, trade has never been more prosperous. Word is that fellow from Daedalus Stoneworks has taken over as mayor. Did he really? A little wonder business is booming the way it is. I imagine it won't be long before all of Norvroots reaps the benefit. But you've not come to talk about the market. Something on your mind? I see, the Exarch did mention they had something to do with your returning to the night to Norvrot. Alright, consider my interest piqued. I was thinking we were going to see the master of the inn, not the tavern keeper. Well, well, to what do I owe the pleasure? Whatever it is, I must ask you to be brief. With the night returned, visitors have been flocking to the Crystarium, and I find myself too busy by half. I don't mind it, though. Seeing the stairs so full of life and excitement, one can almost forget the flood ever happened. The Warriors of Light? Yes, the Exarch has mentioned them before, but everyone knows them now as the cardinal virtues. Or are you suggesting there's more to it than that? Well, you've yet to steer us wrong, so I'm willing to hear what you have to say.
I don't know why I went to the main Ethernet thing.
There you are. Between the four of us, I dare say we've swept the Crystarium from top to bottom. Now we need but wait for the people to gather.
And divide for the instance.
I didn't see any
yes,
shiny
this looks
light.
To be nearly everyone. Let us begin, shall we?
Did I.
Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
They would be more inclined to take the word of the Warrior of Darkness.
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak these truths?
Wicked White? The Warriors of Light did all that?
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls. And they managed it too, in the end. They saved us. And we cursed their names.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air. Impossible. I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
Nay. Yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both. Ardbert.
What in the world?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
That it should be the Warrior of Darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time. Though I have a few words of my own to say, if I may. People of the Crystarium! I am Ardbert. One of those you know as a Warrior of Light.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass. The hero who stands before you now, the warrior of darkness, is not of this world. And the day will come when he must return to his home. But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it. The time to rely on saviors from afar has passed. It is you who must rise. You who must become the new warriors of light.
What? Us? Warriors of light?
None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure. But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony. Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired unto the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
Go. I will stay here and watch.
So, that is a warrior of light of the first. I've not had the pleasure of making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin-eater he is not. Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
That he is an Ascian.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I would have to agree. From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes. Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus. That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known. Thus evicted from his borrowed form, and cognizant no doubt of Emet-Selk's failure here in the first, 'tis quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen? My, that is unsavory. And they do this often, you said?
Verily, for they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the echo can perceive them. Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Minfilia and the Warrior of Light. On that occasion I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure. 'Twas only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
And they have gained much by it. Emet-Selk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while La Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion. Mayhap the blessing of light shieldeth Hydaelyn's chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap other forces are at work. We cannot say for certain.
Whatever the reason, I hope it holds true. I dare not contemplate what might come to pass otherwise.
Is it not peculiar, then, that Ardbert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps? Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark. When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary. I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe, as either wise or prudent. Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful. Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat. And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only serve to confuse the people. And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more, nor yours by association. That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
His performance appears to have concluded. What now? Go back out and follow him?
it would appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and I suspect one pair of eyes shall better serve our cause than half a dozen. Let the rest of us maintain an inconspicuous distance, for the present at least.
You did well to dispel the falsehoods surrounding the Warriors of Light and their actions prior to the Flood. Though I must say the reappearance of Ardbert, or rather one who appropriated his identity, was a rather curious development. He is an impostor, of that there is no doubt, but to the masses he will appear as a hero returned from the grave. After the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulemoor, the people prayed fervently to the gods to deliver them from their plight, prayed that these fallen heroes be born again for their sacrifices. What bitter irony. I, for one, would like to know why Ardbert urged the people to become Warriors of Light themselves. Ere we take action, we must needs ascertain his intent. Let us pray that Master Alphanode return soon with the most essential knowledge. For now, I think it best to apprise Thancred and Reen of our efforts. When we do confront Ardbert, we shall no doubt have need of their strength. Agreed. I think it prudent we all take measures to prepare for what's to come. Beck-Luke and I will continue our research into how we might improve the spirit vessel, that it might one day carry you home. I think that time I return to the Greatwood. Until now, everything we have learned of the Ascians has been handed to us at their leisure. But that was one of Emmett Selk's unique failings. I have no reason to think Elidibus will be as forthcoming. Fortunately, I recently received word from Fanau that heretofore unexplored chambers have been discovered deep within the Katana Revel. Almet believes the relics within tell of a great calamity that befell an ancient civilization. That of the Ascians, perhaps. They may lead us to the truths we seek. I wouldn't dream of going without you. When you're ready, make for Fanau. Elmet and her sisters will be expecting us. Then let us be about our tasks. Pray give my regards to the V's. Be right back, guys.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're all here, right?
No, Captain's still gone.
Ah, crap. I seen him move. I thought he was back.
It stays for a little bit. Him probably won't be a problem.
Looks like he's back.
All good.
And I am back. And I am back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome, allies of Ronka. We have accomplished much since last you came. With the Light Warden dead and its minions dispersed, we have at last reclaimed our hunting grounds near Raktika Falls. It was there that we discovered more ruins. Although we ran afoul of no traps while exploring its halls, we determined that the innermost chambers were warded by magic. We all were in agreement. Before any investigation could proceed, you should be summoned. We are grateful that you did. From what you have told me, I strongly suspect that the wisdom my comrades and I seek can be found within. The wisdom should prove invaluable, for we may soon face a foe whose greatest asset is our ignorance. I see. Then it is good that you have come, for Ronka was once home to the greatest of weapons, knowledge and understanding. And it is our duty to ensure you and yours do not want for either. That said, we must proceed with caution. To have reached the inner chambers unmolested suggests a more formidable deterrent yet lies within. Come now. Surely any threats sleeping within the ruins pale in comparison to those we have faced thus far. This is not a game, sister. You should not be so eager to run headlong into danger. Oh, and who was pining for the return of our allies that we might venture into the ruins, clutching her staff at night, wishing it were... You promised not to tell. Then I suggest we be going. Get back here. Remind me, exactly how old are you and your sisters? On second thought, perhaps it's for the better. I do not know. Pray forgive their overzealous nature. None save we three have been privileged to escort you and yours into the ruins and bear witness to its secrets. Their hearts now burn with a curiosity that is not easily satiated. Please, you needn't apologize. As a seeker of knowledge myself, I understand full well their enthusiasm. And if you, for your sedulous efforts to protect the ruins, we would not have been afforded the opportunity. Speaking of which, I believe I have kept you away from the ruins long enough. Come, let us make for the Katana rabble. Oh, looks like we need to break party. It is most strange for these halls to be left unguarded. Have care when breaking the seal on the chamber door. Danger surely awaits us on the other side. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety.
Come. Our new discoveries are to be found this way.
Thank you.
The people of Ronka are known to have venerated animals, but these features do not match those of any indigenous species. This is no common beast. Though that much is plain from its proportions.
Well, that's an unsettling looking thing.
Lifelike, is it not? One could almost imagine it breathed. Why you... Ugh.
This owl, by contrast, seems no different from the others we've seen.
The sealed door lies ahead. As you see, one statue is missing. I expect we are meant to replace it as before.
Too simple. There will be some additional defense mechanism. Just a moment. There are words carved into the stone. He who would disturb a hero's deserved slumber shall instead waken the beast and know his folly. Wait! Don't!
But I only... What is happening? Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, it lives!
Why am I not surprised? Prepare yourselves.
Okay, I was not expecting to be teleported away. Yes, I like the 3 bunny girls. Okay, this is interesting. Yet to heroes proven learned and wise, a comrade's soul shall be their prize. If you would see theirs set free, answer me these riddles 3. Deft of paw, with kin do I vie, though sought apart, betterment of the whole do our efforts decry. What am I? Oppo Oppo. Indeed, the Oppo Oppo is keen and shrewd, the spirit of ingenuity by whose guidance the Ronkans did prosperity pursue. The riddle's answer you did discern, and thus to have a soul return. With fearsome fang I travel with a pack. Together we find harmony, and thus peace our land does not lack. What am I? Definitely the wolf statue. Indeed, 'twas the spirit of the wolf their doctrines praised, that they would know peace and harmony to the end of their days. The riddle's answer you did discern, and get another soul. So we get cement now. On my belly do I crawl, but by my strength does prosperity reign within our hall. What am I? Serpent? Indeed, the dread serpent turned protector, lured to slumber ere it tear the world asunder. Desire you that which I yet claim, then we shall play another game. To test of mind and memory, choose wisely, and you all may go free. Twixt these talismans hide friend and foe. Choose your companions well, or sorrow know. Well, I'm not sure what the riddle here is. So I'm just going to pick one at random. Okay, we've got a shape. Is this a matching game? Oh, we have Pistola. Ah, I see, I see, I see. When the 6 cards come up, it is a matching game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that mechanic. Letting the NPCs show you the mechanic before you have to do it.
This is going to leave a mark!
Well fought, hero. The trial is complete. The way is open. And thus I concede defeat.
It would seem the magics have returned us. How polite. Now, what have we learned?
Ah, we were bound to run into a living statue eventually. And now we can open the door.
He who would disturb a hero's deserved slumber. A tomb, just as I thought. Befitting a hero.
She is Vis. Could it be the Archmage Tiuna? A legendary hero of Ronka, as you surmised. The tales tell of how she smote entire armies with a single incantation, so potent was her spellcraft. Though she ever fought in the name of peace.
I thought them no more than tales. To think she really existed.
Well, I for one always believed.
I wonder. By the light of fallen stars, great power awakens.
Tiuna was not only a master of spellcraft. It is said she could see truths long lost and hear the voices of men's hearts.
Naught less than the Echo, in which case, none of this is mere coincidence. A shower of stars setting the sky aflame. And in both this world and the Source, we find individuals within whom a mysterious power awakened at the sight. We can never unpick the why of it. Now, however, I believe we might. Does the scene depicted here not resemble the one we saw when we first ventured into the Katana Ravel? Moreover, does it not recall that which Emmett Selk invited us to witness in Amarot? The final days. If, as the Exarch's research suggests, soul and mind share a fragile yet profound bond, might it not be possible for an event to leave such a deep imprint upon the soul that it could be perceived eons later, given a suitable trigger? The Echo defies explanation by conventional etherological theory, or shall we say modern etherological theory. But if it is a power that once belonged to the ancients, to souls yet undivided, it would seem I have entered the realm of pure speculation, and I call myself a scholar. I shall refrain from making any further wild claims until such time as I have evidence. Still, I cannot choose but be reminded of our experience in Amarot. Remember us.
History is learned, not lived. We have always protected the tales of Ronka, just as we have protected this place. But we are mindful of what our mothers taught us. We see the past through our own eyes, and speak of it with our own words. Thus do we come to understand it in our own way. But this is not the same as remembering.
Your mothers were wise. Though we witnessed the final days, our impressions could not fail to be colored by our own experiences and expectations. Those who lived through it would have perceived the event quite differently. We must bear in mind that it is no simple matter to keep the truth alive, or it will die with Emmett Selk and his kin. But we have disturbed Tuna long enough. Fanau will serve similarly well as a venue for our contemplations.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
By your pensive expressions, I take it the tomb has given you much to think about. That is well. In time, the knowledge you have gleaned will lead to understanding, and thus arm you for what is to come. Before you leave, however, I would speak again of the teachings of our forebears, of histories learned, not lived. The legend of Tiona and her exploits has been told countless times over the centuries. Yet, as it is handed from one generation to the next, the story changes. With each telling of the tale, there are new flourishes, details changed or lost. We can never truly know how she lived, for we were not there to see it. But we are here now to bear witness to your life. We have seen the change you have wrought, the echoes that will endure long after you are gone. And though it too will change in time, I swear to you, we shall do our best to preserve your history. I hope you'll forgive me if I don't make an oath of my own, but I think it goes without saying we could never misspeak of your heroism. Perish the thought, so long as we are here, there are none among the V's who will not know all you have done for Norvrot. We are not deserving of such reverence, but we are grateful all the same. You can be certain we will have our own tales to tell of the great guardians of Raktika and the ruins of Ronka. I pray you safe travels then. As ever, we shall await your return with open arms. Although we learned naught of the Ascians, the insight we gained into the Echo made our trip worthwhile. Before we return to the Crystarium, however, there's a small matter I would attend to in Slitherbow. Might I trouble you to come with me? Thank you. After we arrive, we should have a brief word with Runar. It is good to see you. You've arrived at a most opportune time. I was preparing a pot of my famous stew. Come, I will ready a place for you. I'm sorry, Runar, but we haven't the... Please, I insist. It will only take a moment. My apologies. It seems our return to the Crystarium will be delayed. But perhaps only for a bit, if you assist me with my work. I say work, but it is rather more of a chore. I must clean my chambers here in Slitherbow from top to bottom. If you would be so kind as to go and fetch a broom from Aesgeir, we might finish before Runar is done cooking. A broom? For Master Matoya? I cannot imagine why she would have need of such a thing. But here you are. It is old, but sturdy and sure to suffice. Is Master Matoya going to make a sentient broom? It would fit with her name, after all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I trust Aesgeir was able to find a broom for us. Well worn. Good. This would prove difficult otherwise. Though I must say, I think I did rather well for not having a broom thus far. Yes, well, you weren't buried beneath a veritable avalanche of books when you entered, were you? Right. Anyway, it is time I finished cleaning with the help of that broom. You didn't honestly think I'd do it the old-fashioned way. That broom is more than capable of sweeping by itself. Or rather, it will be. Ahem. Time to rise, to swish and sweep, a tidy chamber you must keep. To this task you shall be bound, until no dust is to be found. In this one particular respect, I have no objection to following in Master Matoya's footsteps. In future, I may need you to remind me the pursuit of knowledge does not preclude other equally important duties, such as maintaining clean quarters for said pursuit. I will dearly miss this place. These people. Master Matoya, pardon the interruption, but the stew is ready. Well, from the size of the broom, it might take about 6 months to finish sweeping that room, so... Is something troubling you? You've been rather quiet. And I accidentally skipped the next line. I see. Istola, thanks goodness you're still here. Alphanode, I thought you were following Ardbert. I was, though I'm sad to say I lost track of him shortly after entering these woods. He seemed determined to traverse every elm of Nordront in his quest to spread the truth of the Warriors of Light and the Flood. And it seems news of your address at the Crystarium precedes him at every destination, making his task all the more simple. It remains to be seen to what end he encourages the people to become Warriors of Light themselves. But there is no denying that his words have struck a chord with many. Well, we're all agreed that this is just another Ascian ploy, yes? They've commandeered corpses before, and to no good end. I see no reason to think this time is any different, especially when it's a fallen Warrior of Light. I doubt we'll learn more if we remain a step behind. His next destination is, in all likelihood, Slitherbow. Alize, are you certain you should be here? If you're concerned about Halric and the others, you needn't be. Their treatment is going well, but progress is slow and exhausting. For all of us. The best thing I can do for them now is to let them rest. So, I believe we were about to discuss how to arrange a meeting with our would-be Warrior of Light. Before visiting any towns or villages, Ardbert would hunt down and slay a nearby Sin Eater to earn the locals' trust. Our best chance of getting ahead of him is to find one before he does. Thankfully, Thancred and Reen are returned from the Empty and have taken up the search. Reen believeth one may lurk beneath the boughs of Woven Oath. Then that is where we shall start our search. Master Matoya. A warm bowl of stew will be awaiting your return. I look forward to it. I was going to say that maybe she should have made something more Rumba-like, but she is a cat. That might be dangerous.
I just barely got that. Nice one.
Okay, I don't get it.
Rumba's the little robot vacuum cleaners.
Oh.
Cats like to sit and ride on them.
Yeah.
She knew she couldn't stay.
True. True.
If you were hoping to vent your frustrations on our Eater friend here, I can only apologize.
Few as they are now, it took us no time at all to track it down.
That suits our purpose perfectly. Now we need only wait for Ardbert to arrive.
Weren't you two meant to be attending to the Empty?
We were, and are, but we can hardly ignore the rest of the world. So we thought we might see how things were coming along. From what we can gather, the answer is strangely.
Right now, we think we can do more good here.
It is heartening to have all present.
Indeed. We will be glad of the additional hands should matters escalate.
Our quarry has come.
It seems I've lost this particular race. Although I suppose it's only fair. When we first met, it was I who outpaced you. Ravana, was it? But where are my manners? I wouldn't be here were it not for you, and I have yet to say a word of thanks. Poor fellow. He will be sorely missed.
Very well. Let us forego this pretense. After all, it was never you that I needed to deceive. Yes, it is I, Elizabeth. Through your time in Emet-Selk's imitation of our home, I dare say you have gained a better understanding of my role since last we met. Not that it matters.
We understand your role, emissary, but not your goal. What is it that you seek to achieve?
I seek to enact the will of the Convocation, of course. If it helps you to think of me as but another Ascian, no different in nature or purpose from the rest, you are welcome to do so.
Once, I would have said your goal was destruction alone. Now I understand that you fight for something you love, just as we do. Yet though we seem doomed to clash, I bid you consider Emet-Selk's final words. Remember that we once lived, he said. Had he not seen some glimmer of hope in our kind, I do not believe he would have spoken thus.
None better understood your plight than he. His words must surely be worthy of your consideration.
Emet-Selk. How very unlike you to err so gravely. That one should stray at the end of so onerous a path is understandable. But I had thought you above such weakness. Mayhap you thought the same. Would that I had been present to offer correction. But I shall do so now, as is my duty, and return all to its proper course. As for you, look at yourselves. Look at your history. Look back 100 short years to how your greatest warriors were undone. And now, at but a word from me, you raise your hands in answer like the puppets you are. Naught has changed. You fail, and you fail, and you learn nothing. Allow that which is most important to slip through your fumbling fingers like so many grains of sand, again and again and again, and you would remember us. You do forget yourselves. There is no common ground to be found between you and I. Nor do I require any. I have my duty.
Wait!
Well, we have confirmed the identity of our foe at least. And 'tis safe to say his objective is the rejoining.
But we still have no idea how playing the part of a warrior of light will further his cause, nor why he would spur others to do the same.
Another visit to the Tempest may shed some light upon these mysteries. Whether we are to exchange words or blows with Elidibus at our next meeting, the fact remains, we know too little. Ere our paths cross again, I would learn more of the world that once was, and of Elidibus himself. In this, we would be best served going directly to his home, much as Emet-Selk came to ours.
Though I see the wisdom in thy suggestion, The Amarot we visited is but a phantom born of Emmett Selk's memory. I fear it will teach us little that we do not already know.
I quite agree. Yet the ruins of the actual city remain unexplored. Given the vastness of the Tempest, I should not be surprised were there more such structures like to those in which the Ondo reside. A man after my own heart.
Assuming we are all in agreement, then I suggest we first pay a visit to the Ondo. If anyone can tell us where more ruins are to be found, it is them.
Alphonode has the right of it. Let us pay a visit to the Ondo. We should speak with Pulsh-Ath the First. As chieftain, he is doubtless privy to a great many secrets.
Wait, we're gonna go back and get our stew? I guess not.
I believe he meant the next time she returns, there will be stew waiting for her.
So to the Ondo Cups.
Oh,
Yep.
it was an opportunity for her to tell him goodbye, I think, right?
True.
He was trying to create that.
Yeah, I think he was.
Whatever, little son.
I've sent for no finless ones. Perhaps you instead come seeking something of us. Ruins which your kind have yet to explore. I see. I know of one such place. Alas, under these circumstances, I am afraid we can spare none to guide you there. And what circumstances are these? Rather than hunt for their own meals, the Benthos have pillaged our stores of Miniri liver. They must be replenished with haste. Benthos, a particularly violent tribe of Ondo, if I recall. A band of bottom feeders. We all lost much in the flood, but But while others work to rebuild, they resort to thievery and murder. Revenge, they call it, when they prey upon your kind. Do not be fooled. They care not who they harm. Would that we had the warriors to challenge them. This is not the first time they have stolen from us, but there is no resource more precious than liver. All must dedicate themselves to the hunt. Unless, of course, we were to reclaim the livers for you. It seems a fitting payment for vital information, does it not? Moreover, one would argue that by employing Bismarck to reach these depths, thereby driving back the waters, we are in part responsible for the deeds of those driven to desperate ends by the changing climes. I went with option 2. I thought you might say that. You've never been one to miss an opportunity to help. Reclaiming the stores it is, then. We would be grateful beyond words if you did. The Benthos have surely taken the livers back to Flounder's Floor, but be warned, there will be no shortage of guards waiting to spear intruders. Then we will have to have care not to draw their attention, shall we? I would rather just walk right in through the front door, Alpha Node, and just dare them to try to stop me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I know we don't have to kill these. I felt like it anyway.
Gotta thin them out.
How dare they? How dare they?
I noticed the Stola just walked right past them, apparently.
Yeah.
Although I guess if I was a fish man, I would avoid the scary cat lady too. Did you just say which one, Zora?
I know you're a lot scarier than me.
One of them isn't offering them much chance to avoid them.
Yeah.
I guess that one back there in the corner will let him live to tell the others.
Indeed. It's too bad they don't know who Bahamut is. Since Zora's basically walking around with a tiny god in her pocket.
That's right. Only because they made him tiny.
You made him tiny.
That just makes him even more fearsome.
That's right. He's got a whole lot of rage.
Cosmic power, itty bitty living space.
Yep.
Yes. On cursory sniff, you detect the faint aroma of fresh oranges, a far cry from the rather memorable scents of Mirini liver.
I'm taking those for myself then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we might need a few just to cover up the smell. If nothing else. I noticed Thancred just came right to where the stuff is. Thrusting your hand into each sack in turn, you find that they are filled with wheat down to the bottom. You also find that raw wheat is unpleasantly pointy. These boxes are filled with assorted vegetables. Liver is not a vegetable. That is true, Box. That is very, very true.
Kate, that's a swimming pool in there.
Oh, and that is not a box, that is Orianche.
Feel like Oriange got gypped.
Bulbous bag sounds promising. From the squelching noise that they make when prodded and the vile stench, you conclude that these bags are bursting with livers. Brilliant. A squishy stank sack.
They couldn't exactly call it that, I guess.
Are those them? Feel free to open one and find out, Thancred. Perhaps you've deduced this already, but it seems the Benthos have been raiding Calusian storehouses as well as those of the Ondo. Oranges, pumpkins, wheat. But we can discuss this after we see the liver safely back to Tulshath. It wouldn't do to keep him in suspense. And yes, we did all that running around in the cave, mostly because I forgot that I could mount in here.
Okay.
You can't
it's
kill
fun to
them
run
in the
away,
vehicle.
run around sometimes.
Yeah.
They don't die fast enough when you're in the car.
That is true. I should be able to run them over.
Exactly. And remember, we were just trying to thin them out a little bit so they don't have to worry about them next time.
And it just dawned on me we can just teleport.
Oh, yeah. That my bad.
I'm relieved to see you unspeared. Our precious livers. I knew you would not fail. We also found all manner of foodstuffs from Calusia in the Flounder's floor. Tell me, Talshoth, does that seem odd to you? It is brazen, to be sure. I'm reminded of rumors I've heard recently concerning a rash of theft from Calusian warehouses. The perpetrators enter in the dead of night and are gone before anyone has realized what has happened. The Yomorian army has been investigating, but thus far to no avail. Perhaps the reason they have struggled so is their quarry is of the sea? The true question, then, is what we mean to do about it. Much as I would like to proceed to the ruins without further delay, we cannot allow the Benthos to carry on as they are. If I may, I believe that the ruins are, in fact, key to the Benthos plans. Is that so? These ruins, which lie deep within the illuminated land, are a recent discovery. We have seen signs that the Benthos are preparing to claim them with all haste. We could not fathom why, but in light of the knowledge that they have been stockpiling resources, it is clear that their queen will soon give birth. They require space to raise their young, and food for both queen and hatchlings to thrive. Well, we can hardly fault them for that. Under normal circumstances perhaps, but conditions in the Tempest are far from suitable for spawning. Its resources barely able to sustain our current population. There is only one reason they would disregard this. They seek to build an army, and with it take revenge upon the Finless. It is not a surprise. They came to us not long ago seeking allies for the cause. We rebuffed them, of course. The suffering of others will not serve as balm to their own. Their queen, however, desires only bloodshed, and will gladly send her children to die in our stead. If they are planning to wage war, that changes matters considerably. Indeed. I doubt that this could be resolved without violence. But perhaps with a show of force we can convince them to see reason before the die is cast. I would rather not risk your people in the attempt. If we travel to the illuminated land, is there a way we might identify the ruins ourselves? Yes, once you reach its depths, go deeper still. You will see a monstrous structure there upon the sea floor. That you have come to us now is the will of the Ancient Ones. They have guided you here, that you may drive out the usurpers, those who seek to use their magnificent creations with vile purpose. I have no doubt that they will show you the way forward. I'm afraid the dead do not speak quite so clearly. Nevertheless, we shall try not to disappoint. If what we seek lieth deeper still, beyond Amaro, I would call upon the assistance of another. That is a box I am not going to open because I don't think I have room in my inventory to open it.
Yeah.
Though our course hath been decided, to pursue it we must needs beseech the aid of a friend. Aye, I speak of Bismarck. Pray, follow me to Sullen that we may seek an audience with him once more. From here we press onward to the Isle of Ken. I myself shall proceed on foot. You've perfected your technique then. Just so. The water will be as glass beneath my feet, and provideth purchase fragile yet true. Watch closely. Oh, certainly I shall. Forgive me, but would it not be easier to perfect your swimming technique? Aye, 'twould be a pity if you drowned. Truly. Oh, hush. I'm sure it'll be brilliant. He's done it! Incredible! Brianche! Oh, for the love of... That's pretty much what I expected to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Lost concentration.
Mine apologies. The techniqueth require the purest of focus, and mine 'twas lacking. To perfect this magic, I went so far as to deal with the Fuoth, and with their aid, mine efforts finally met with success, albeit on a single occasion. I know not why I cannot repeat it. But I saw you waver a bit toward the end there. Perhaps you're simply tired? Thancred? Nothing to worry about. Only a dizzy spell. Though it may not be wise to go for another swim just now. Thankfully, we have an alternative. A wonderful little invention. I'm certain you'll agree.
I wonder if it has to do with the thing that's happening where they're losing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't think of what it's called.
Yeah, I agree.
The spirit and the mind bonding and no actual body here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's when they pointed out that Urianger might be weakening, and then they showed Thancred being much worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although I thought Ishtola and Urianger have been here the same amount of time. So, who knows?
But Thancred was the first one, right?
Right. Yeah, I think by the timelines, Thancred's been here for 5 years, and Ishtola and Urianger have been here for 3. I will petition Bismarck's aid on our behalf. Let us pray my diplomacy proveth more effective than mine experimental magics. You speak with the voice of the king, little neighbors. I will not deny you. As before, if you seek what sleepeth beneath the sea, I will be your guide. Thy kindness is as boundless as the depths, serene one. Before we depart, however, I would ask a favor. After our last flight, I found many creatures clinging to me. I am itchy. Remove them, and I will take you below. With all haste shall it be done. So, did he agree? Aye, though I agreed to a favor in kind. Regrettably, 'tis not one I possess the power to grant. Bismarck hath asked us to cleanse his underbelly of barnacles. Alas, one must needs dive beneath the surface to do so. Even if I could master the power to walk upon it, it would avail me not. Oh, for heaven's sake, is that all? He and I are more than capable of that. With the coach's blessing, we'll have it done within moments. And better that than standing here and listening to this nonsense. I'll take the right, you take the left. Now go. Alizé's in a hurry. I am in your debt.
She knows what's going on, though.
I think it's funny that we nodded twice. We're like, oh yeah, mm-hmm, uh-huh.
Yes, angry one.
Was it Istinian that referred to Alizé as angry Alpha Node?
I don't remember.
Something like that.
I did see a Twitter poll a week or so back that said, which is your favorite Levliero twin? Red Alpha Node or blue Alizé?
Nice.
actually had hoped that it would actually let you land on the car. Alas, it did not.
No.
Thine efforts are most sincerely appreciated. I will inform Bismarck that we may depart without further delay. Much, much better. Thank you, little neighbors. I remember, a long time ago, another did this favor for me. After the flood, when I chose this spot for my slumber, he came and made a home on my back. Ken was his name. When I grew itchy, I stirred, but he was not afraid. No, he asked me what was wrong. I told him of the creatures clinging to my belly, and he dove into the water. He helped me. He was my friend. He told me he wished to live in peace, away from his people and their wars. This I understood. I treasured our time together, brief though it was. Brief though it always is. But I remember him, and how he laughed when we flew. I remember when he slept. I too slept that day, and many days since. But the light fades, and the darkness returns. Ken sleeps, but in memory he laughs, and together we fly. And I am here. I am awake. Feels good to speak, and to be heard again. A shame others cannot understand me. If thou art willing to learn, I would gladly teach thee the language of man. Thank you, little friend, but it is time I grant you your request. But first, I will take flight to cleanse my body and prepare. The dive will be swift, and I would not have you struck by errant debris. So this island was named for a man. How easily the past is forgotten. He passed not even 100 years ago, yet the truth has slipped from history like so many grains of sand. Might I have an explanation of what he just said? Or shall we all stand about making vague and mysterious allusions? While he maketh ready to deliver us unto our destination, Bismarck bade us wait for him on the shore of Calusia. That's all? I feel as though there was more to it. Indeed there was, but it hath no bearing on the task at hand. I should be glad to share the rest with you anon. Fine. Later, then. If Bismarck requires time to prepare, might I suggest a short respite, for Urianger and Thancred in particular? I require no such thing. I am the picture of perfect health. Mine was but a momentary lapse in concentration. Worry not on my account. You mustn't push yourself so. Please rest. For me. Alright, if you insist. You too. You've been running yourself ragged. Option 1. In that case, I leave the old men in your care. The rest of us will meet you at the Split Hull anon. Word of advice. Never let it show. When she realizes she's struck a nerve, she remembers. By the gods, she remembers. In any case, if we must be made to rest, I know a place in Sullen that's better than for it than most. Come with me. Now my question is was he talking about Ishtola or Rhine? Or Reen?
Yeah.
May as well have a seat. We wouldn't want our elderly knees to give out. Hey, that's a legit thing to worry about, Thancred. To hear her speak, you'd think I'm on my deathbed. By the 12, I wish that girl wouldn't worry so much. Thy countenance belies thy words, Master Thancred. I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Let the record show that I am here under protest. Though, I can't say I mind the view. And if the abundance of anglers is any indication, even an amateur might land an impressive catch. Shall we try our hands at it? Help! Someone! Quickly! It's Nightshade. We was attacked on the road from Crystarium. Barely escaped with me life. I suppose we might have predicted this.
I was all kinds of smiles.
So was I. You mean to help? You for free? Thank you. If I recall correctly, Nightshade is a local band of outlaws. I doubt they'll trouble us over much. No more than they have already have by interrupting our relaxation at any rate. Indeed, I was about to sit in a chair and watch Thancred fail at fishing. These two have matters well in hand, by the look of it. I'll not forget this kindness. May we meet again. Is that you, sir? Don't tell me we just deprived that poor fellow of the honor of being rescued by the Warrior of Darkness. We had no idea you were in the area. Fancy us meeting again so soon, eh? Why, I believe I even recognize your companion. Ah, yes, from the infirmary. You had a message for the Crystal Exarch, did you not? It's good to see you back on your feet, and on patrol, no less. Oh, it's nothing as official as that. Strictly speaking, we're off duty. But as we had a free moment, we thought we'd give a few of the less traveled roads a look. The guard doesn't have enough hands to patrol them regularly, you see. That's admirable. There are few so devoted to their duty, in Lakeland or beyond. Well, we've been talking about it for a while, and neither of us is satisfied with just seeing out our service. It feels like we could be doing more, like we should be doing more. It's all about having the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through. I'm going with option 2. Sorry, sir. I got overexcited the other day. Couldn't get my words out. The name's Vonard, sir. I'm with the Guard. But I don't just want to protect Lakeland. I want to protect the lot. Just like the Warriors of Light. Sadly, our duties prevent us from venturing too far from our own little corner of Norvrot. What we'd like to do is travel, to better ourselves, and go where the need is greatest. But everyone has to start somewhere, don't they? For now, if we can stop Nightshade from robbing the odd fisherman, then that's what we do. That's what we'll do. Well, well. Future heroes of the first, do you think? They want not for spirit. 'Tis but a pity they draw inspiration from so clouded a wellspring. Yet it availeth us naught to fret in idleness. We must needs press on if we are to bring Elidibus' schemes to light. Though our respite was cut short, I dare say we are all eager to avail ourselves of such knowledge as the ruins may hold. Aye, and I doubt further contemplations of Elidibus' machinations will be conducive to relaxation. We may as well make for Split Hall now. I see KJ has his own magic broom.
Yes. Thank you for acknowledging that.
It is actually of appropriate size for him.
Well, I did enchant it myself.
It's funny when it gets crazy sweepy.
All the stars and everything, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't just do the soft, easygoing sweeps. It's just like la 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 la.
Mm-hmm.
To right then.
Sure.
Are we getting close to done?
Huh?
Oh, I just wonder if we were getting close to done.
Done with what?
Well, we stayed up pretty late last night, so I was just wondering.
Well, that is true. We're actually nearing a dungeon. So the question is, will we want to do the dungeon tonight, or do we want to save that for next week?
Up to you. You're the one in the later than us right now. Like 11, 12?
It is 11:20 right now. All are present. Now we need but await Bismarck's coming. It's time. Pray make ready.
You were not kidding.
Indeed. I wasn't expecting it quite that quickly. Alright, I say we do the dungeon and then call it afterwards.
Okay, sounds good.
Can I have a minute, please?
Sure.
I'll be right back too.
Alright.
I'm back.
Welcome back. I had my camera positioned in just the right point that I was hearing KJ's broom, and it sounded like somebody had a can of spray paint.
That's what it sounds like.
Sorry about that.
No problem, Zora.
Okay, so we're gonna do this dungeon and then we're calling it a night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I am wondering on the UI, the duty finder. There is a box next to the dungeon box that has a 2 on it. There's a box next to the trial box that has a 2 on it. And one next to the raid with a 2 on it. But they're still all unclickable even though they've been there the entirety we've been playing the game. So, I'm like,
yeah.
Is that where current content goes, I wonder? So, like, the Endwalker dungeons and whatnot will be there?
I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, that's cool. We seem to still be riding Bismarck.
Lo, falla eslor wislon. Vaneresia achtane.
Sorry, Zora, that one was apparently outside my AoE radius.
Oh, it's okay. I think I probably clicked it before you like did your AoE. And brought it outside of your...
Circle of Death.
Circle of Death.
Wow, is this whole fight them coming to us, I guess?
Could be. And yes, my chat reports that the boxes with the 2s on them are where current content goes.
Adal morech, thon sakfal eratsi.
Okay, this is cool feeling.
Olfoen wisdol, falla esnoetsi.
I also note that this Fey language they use sounds like a legit language. I don't know what it is, but... I mean, I guess it kind of sounds like Welsh, but, Yeah. It doesn't sound like a made-up lane. Let's just put it that way. That is an interesting giant jellyfish.
I like it.
Alright, that was a pretty good dungeon intro right there.
Yeah, that was fun.
Dude, you need to get that checked.
Yeah, needs to see a doctor.
It's not even got a name.
Unknown is right.
If this was WoW, I would be thinking that we'd be having a glitch right now. Alright. Fetid Fang is the tank buster. Scrutiny. Several orbs will appear around the arena with circle AoE below each of them. That leaves only 3 safe places to stand. At the same time, the unknown will move to the center of the room, and a roulette arrow indicator will spin around. Nearing the end of the cast, the arrow will stop, but slip 4 more times until it stops on the next safe area. At which point, the unknown will blast that area with a narrow cone while the orbs explode. Luminous Ray. Line attacks directed at a random player, telegraphed by the unknown turning to face them and charging a fiery orb in its mouth. Inscrutability. Party-wide damage that also inflicts an incurable bleeding debuff for 12 seconds. Unknown Add. The second cast of Scrutiny will also summon a second unknown boss that will use Ectoplasmic Ray at the same time as the first unknown Scrutiny attack. The second unknown is identical to the first and must be killed as well. See, Ectoplasmic Array is a line-up stack marker on a random player that resolves halfway through the Scrutiny cast. Clear Out is a short cone attack from Unknown's front directed at the tank. Setbacks, short cone attack from Unknown's rear, only used if a player is behind the Unknown and in melee range. Plain Weirdness. After one of the Unknowns is destroyed, the other will cast this ability to give itself a damage buff. Okay.
Alright.
Damn it, I didn't get there in time.
I'm not gonna be able to get to you.
Okay. Okay, that was me dead. Oh my gosh, I'm dead again.
Oh my gosh. They do not like this.
No.
Well, that was a bit of chaos. But hey, we won.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm winning too many rolls.
Bag space be damned.
Okay. The final verse is a moderate party-wide damage. 2000 Mina Swing is a circle AoE centered on him. 2000 Mina Swipe is a cone attack directly in front of the boss directed at the tank. Terrible Hammer and Terrible Blade creates an image of a hammer or blade on the tiles of the room. He will cast one followed immediately by the other. Pay attention to which one he casts first, as they also launch their attacks a short time later in the same order. The tile attacks deal high damage and launches players it hits into the air and likely onto one of the other tiles. So I guess we need to try to avoid those. Eye of the Cyclone is a ring AoE which with the only safe area in melee range of the boss. Raging Glower is a line attack in the direction of a random player. He telegraphs this attack by turning toward the player and holding his hands up in front of his face. Open Hearth is a stack marker on a random player. Wanderer's Pyre is circle AoEs targeted on each player. And that is it. I also note his arena feels a little small.
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that did not give you enough.
Oh, I was in. That's weird.
Okay, it's hammer and blade time.
I missed that one.
Oh my gosh, so did I. His stuff is fast.
I think I might as well just let him kill me. I don't think I'm going to do enough damage to bring him down.
Come over here and die. The Nemo can raise you.
Oh, I'm about to get hit with a stack marker by myself. That ought to do it. Yeah, basically, pay attention to what he is casting. When Eye of the Cyclone comes up, run in close. You want to already be close before the circle even appears.
Okay.
And when the colored tiles come down, one will appear first, and then the other will appear. Stand in the ones that appear second, but as soon as the other ones explode, get into them.
And right around then, he does the one that's AoE on him. We want to be the outside. So be on an outside tile at that point, right?
Yes, that would probably be wise, yes.
Okay, that was opposite.
Okay, the hammers appeared first, so stand in sword tiles. Get close.
Oh my gosh. It's fine.
Okay, the swords appeared first this time, so stand in hammer tiles.
I was out of that. Or apparently not.
Swords appeared first, so be in hammer tiles.
Oh, dang.
Ouch. Final verse is what that big one in it.
Stand in hammer tiles. I think I've gotten hit by that every single time.
You're gonna have to move because I put
Stand
you
in
in a...
hammer tiles, just so you know.
Oh, wait for a minute. I guess I could have done it.
Yeah, I didn't move because I was concentrating on something else. Idiots of me.
Oh.
Get out, get out, get out. Sorry, AJ, just
Sword tiles. Whew. That guy didn't mess around.
Don't leave.
The beast.
It's not going to put me at the end there.
No. Close enough, though.
Okay, this is definitely what Istola was looking for. The Archive Eternal. by the kami, a giant turtle.
The whacking of the staff was a little anticlimactic, though, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bone Breaker is the tank buster. Seabed Ceremony deals moderate party-wide damage and has another effect based on what the boss does prior to casting it. She will jump to the front or back of the room and create a water puddle that separates the room into two halves. Standing in the puddle inflicts an indefinite drop CD buff until the player moves out of it. Or will move to the center of the room and cause two puddles to appear along the longer edges of the room. Death Grip 1. 4 watery hands will erupt from any available puddle and eventually slam down in the direction they're facing in the order they were summoned. If there's a puddle splitting the room in two, the hands will alternate which direction they face as they appear. If there's puddles in the edges of the room, all the hands will face inward, but there will be a safe area on each side. Stand in the safe area on the first side to spawn, and then run to the opposite side once the first sets of attack finishes. Falling Water. 2 random players are marked with large circle AoEs. Rising Tide is a cross-shaped AoE centered on the boss. Unnatural Ripples. 4 of the 8 vents on the floor will begin spraying water. If a player isn't standing on a rippling vent, eventually Queen's Harpooner ad will spawn from it. Queen's Harpooner immediately tethers to the boss and grants her invulnerability. All ads must be killed to remove the invulnerability debuff. Flying Font. Stack marker on a random player. Command Current. 8 narrow cone attacks centered on the boss, arranged so that there's only 4 safe areas to stand. Death Grip 2. The second time ripples appear, all 8 vents will be affected. This cast of Death Grip causes 4 hands to appear in the pools on the outside of the arena, facing inwards towards 4 of the vents, standing on the vents that don't have a hand next to them. If done correctly, the 4 unavoidable spawns will result in the ads being killed by the Death Grip ads as soon as they appear. Okay, so the little squares on the floor are probably the vents. So we'll need to be paying attention to when the vents start spraying water, somebody needs to stand on each of them. And during the second Death Grip, all of them will start rippling. You need to pay attention which ones the hands are going to hit and stand on other ones. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. And if we fail and an ad does spawn, the ad must be killed with all haste.
Right. Because she's immune.
Correct. Avoid standing in the blue. Stand on a square.
You're bubbling square.
Okay, pay attention to where the hands are pointing. And stand on squares they're not going to hit. Excellent. About to split the room in half again. About to split the room in half, and KJ, pop her when you're ready. And we win.
Yay!
Yay!
This structure must have served an important function. And here are yet more crystals.
I too noted the crystal repository on the way. The Benthos seem to employ them in their spellcasting.
In such vessels did the ancients preserve concepts. ideal forms to be drawn upon in the act of creation. That so great an abundance should reside here lendeth credence to Ishtola's conclusion. This facility held great significance.
I was gonna say held or holds.
Thank you all for joining us at Anyander in these most perilous of times. By the summoning of Zodiark have we been granted a reprieve, yet immutable as the laws he has woven may seem, they will not serve to forestall our doom. Nay, should we continue down this path, our fate will be the same. I said as much to the convocation, of course, but the stubborn fools turned a deaf ear to my warnings. I had hoped that the defector, at least, would side with us, but I regret to report our overtures have gone unanswered. Whither tend your thoughts, Venat? Where you lead, we will follow. I shall not speak ill of the convocation. They too seek only to secure the future of our star. Yet it is plain that they will not countenance a permanent solution. That being the case, we must ask ourselves a simple question. Are we prepared to pursue our chosen course, even should it mean suffering the eternal condemnation of our brethren? If so, I see no further reason to demur. Let us bring forth the light that shall ever after keep the darkness in check.
So, it was they who first summoned Hydaelyn.
Their discussion did seem to imply as much, yes. I cannot say I have ever heard of this Venar before.
For a certainty, Emet-Selch never uttered the name, speak though he did of the schism which Zodiark's advent wrought upon mankind. Some were of the viewpoint that his power must needs be restrained, and to that end did they call forth she who would serve as his shackles. We now know that it was this Venar to whom they looked for leadership.
And that this place, in all likelihood, served as their headquarters. The presence of such intimate records attests to that. I would hear what else they have to tell us. All of it. Did anyone see the source of the image? The device there? Then let us see what other secrets it holds.
Venar, please, why must it be you? I may speak plainly. I would sooner if it were another. Any other. You are our leader. None can take your place. You know as well as I that but few support our cause. Far fewer than they who put their faith in Zodiark. If Hydaelyn is to stand a chance of opposing him, I am the only one who might suffice as her heart. Rest assured, however, I shall not vanish from this world. The form I take shall ever remain my choice. Then I will press you no more. Only know this, you will be sorely missed. I wonder, is this how the Convocation felt about Elidibus? Well, that's an important piece of information.
What? Forgive me, but did that not strongly imply that Elidibus sacrificed himself to become Zodiark's heart?
7 hells. Then who or what are we dealing with?
The device appears to activate via a form of etherical attunement, not unlike an aetheryte. Beyond that, I can say little for certain, save that we should take this opportunity to see what other records it contains. No response, confound it. If I may, milady, the panel did formerly emit a soft yet perceptible glow. That it doth so no longer may betoken the depletion of some essential energy within. Given how long it has lain dormant, I think it fortunate it functioned at all. That may be, but if we can't get it to work again, we'll be leaving with more questions than we've answered. The white-robed emissary hath named himself Elidibus. Yet, if the shade spoke true, Elidibus ceased to be, ere even the sundering came to pass. This calleth to mind a truth that Emmett Selk did once reveal in passing, that the names by which we know our foes are not those given to Asians at birth, rather they are titles of office, afforded to individuals of merit, as such time as the role became vacant. Perchance the Elidibus at Zodiark's heart and the emissary with whom we are acquainted be not one and the same, but predecessor and successor. It's possible. If the previous Elidibus perished before the final days, the one we know could be a survivor of the Sundering. And yet, something in that explanation rings false. I will remain for a time. I would not abandon my attempts to revive the device so soon. There is more to learn here, I can feel it. In matters of aetherology, I know of none as capable as thee. If there existeth a means to learn more, thou wilt surely find it. Whilst thou art thus engaged, we shall attend to matters on the surface. You may now enter Animus Einder with a party of NPC. Okay, the trust system. Okay. Alright, I'm going to leave that quest to pick up next time. And I believe we will call it here.
Sounds good.
Just one moment, and I will wind down the stream. Alright, guys. I believe we are going to call it here for the night. I will be back tomorrow with more Final Fantasy VII. And on Saturday, we will be beginning Elden Ring. So, until then, I want to thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. And have a good night.